Hey now, good morning, PSW staff, clients, friends joining us for a lovely Monday class. Hope you guys had a great weekend, not just a good one, but a great one. Today is Film Scoring Monday, as we know. That's when we look at an important scene from a film and we talk about it, and then I take out the score and you give me either a link on YouTube or Spotify, and or you can send your CDs into. You come up with a good choice, the best possible choice. Not your favorite song, but a good choice. Most of these we're using. We're not using any lyrics just because this is film scoring, or music supervising, where it's not coming up with a song. It's creating the right music and the mood. So play along. If you're new, if you're nervous, that's okay. We're all learning. I'm learning. We looked at the Man of Steel, we looked at Superman, that was fun. Today's going to be a little bit scary for the kids. You know, it was out a long time ago, gosh, almost 100 years ago, but it's still got some really great scenes in it. We're going to be looking today at the 1933 film, King Kong. Everyone knows King Kong. There's several different versions. They're probably remaking another one as we speak right now, but this is the 1933 one. Adventure romance film, directed and produced by Marion C. Cooper and Ernest Schoedsack. It tells the story of a huge gorilla-like who's named Kong, and attempts to possess a beautiful young woman who's played by Fay Wray, and features stop-motion animation by Willis O'Brien and music by Max Steiner. We're going to be looking at the score and why it was so important. So 1933, we're into talkie films now. Talkie meaning people can now talk on film, where we're out of the silent era. Of course, we know that because 1927, that all changed with The Jazz Singer, with Al Jolson. Okay. Let's leave Huntington Library, because I don't know about you, but I was still hanging out there on Thursday and for the weekend. And then now let's go over to the scene we're going to be talking about. We're going to go to the Empire State Building in New York. 1933, what's going on in 33? A lot of stuff is going on. Hitler's appointed Chancellor of Germany. So some terrible things are going to happen. Alcatraz becomes a federal penitentiary. Loch Ness Monster is sighted for the first time in modern times. First drive-in movie theater is in New Jersey. Some of these we've gone over because 33 we've looked at. First drive-in in New Jersey, making a comeback during COVID too. Let's see, Hitler, what else is important? Oh yeah, the first chocolate chip cookie is invented. I didn't know about that, but that's kind of cool. Monopoly is invented, and then people can resume partying because prohibition is repealed. So from 13 years of being dry, or seemingly dry, America is allowed to drink again. Alcohol is allowed to. So King Kong opens in New York City, March 2nd, 1933. Rave reviews. I mean, people must have been just blown away by this. The budget was big, though. It was almost going to bankrupt RKO. Budget was $672,000. A lot of money today, a lot of money tomorrow, a lot of money in 1933. It made $5.3 million. So it saved the studio for sure. So Kong was an 18-inch model. He was supposed to be about 50 feet. That was mostly what he was supposed to be. 18-inch model made from metal mesh skeleton and a mixture of rubber and foam for the muscle structure, and rabbit for his hair. So lest anyone think Kong is real, it was a model, right? So film's considered to be one of the best horror films ever made. And just to get the story, it's this gigantic prehistoric ape who's taken to New York City by a film crew where he wreaks havoc on the city. And King Kong is very infatuated with the actress from the crew. But the film also features some really great sequences, fighting adventure-filled sequences with battles between Kong and other dinosaurs and stuff. So the movie's, I mean, you can see it's pretty groundbreaking for its special effects, but looks pretty good. And when we're gonna look at our scene when he climbs the Empire State Building, such a cool idea, especially because Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world, but it was just built 2 years prior. So I mean, this was like a brand new building. They used live action, back projection, stop animation, miniatures, models, matte paintings. I mean, terrific special effects. But the score, why is the score important? The score is by Max Steiner. Max Steiner is one of the biggest film composers that ever lived. I mean, was a true child prodigy. I mean, studied piano with Brahms. We looked at Brahms, the 19th century composer, and orchestration with Richard Strauss, and conducting with Mahler. So, I mean, talking about a classical education, this guy really had classical, born in Vienna, and then comes to Hollywood, scores tons of things. But really, the score to King Kong is important because it's kind of considered the first feature-length musical score written for a talkie film, and the first Hollywood film to have a thematic score, because usually they would just have background music, and that's what the producers wanted. They wanted just, here's our movie, we don't have that much money, create just, regular background music. Well, with Max Steiner, he's like, no, I'm gonna score this as if Wagner was scoring an opera. I'm gonna use leitmotifs, reoccurring themes for different characters. I'm gonna be doing it the right way. Studio said, no, it's too expensive. The director, Cooper, said, Maxie, write whatever you want, and I'll pay for it. So he pays for the score out of his own pocket, and he pays Steiner $50,000 to compose it. And Steiner writes the score in 6 weeks and records it with a 46-piece orchestra. Never been done. This had never really been done before. Studio later reimbursed Cooper, but still, that took a huge leap of faith, and a lot of people consider the success of King Kong because of the score, because it's not just background random music. It's actually almost, and this is why I go back to when we talked about Monteverdi and Wagner and opera writing. Now composers like Steiner are saying they have that training of opera, they have that training of using leitmotifs and classical music and all that stuff, but now they're going to incorporate it for the film, for talkies. So that's why I kind of go back to opera being important because film composers are now going to look at a piece of cinema and score it like an opera, just like you would for the stage, only for the screen. So Steiner's doing this with his 46-piece orchestra, and it was also the first to be recorded on 3 separate tracks, music tracks. So sound effects, dialogue, and then music. So you had those 3 tracks running. hugely. I mean, we do this all the time, but 1933 it was crazy. So Max Steiner was hugely influential for that. He created a theme for each character in the film, and Steiner's music developed themes to express the emotional aspects because, there's that dilemma: well, Kong is he the villain, or is it the crew, is it? It's really, he's just a monster. He's doing what he's naturally doing in his environment. When they take him out of the environment, so really the villain is kind of the Hollywood crew people that try to exploit him. I mean, because of this, we have Jurassic Park, Aliens, all those other movies came, but this was really kind of the first one, obviously. So let's look at your scene. This is the very end of the movie. They take Kong out of his environment. Kong's also very attracted to and wants to protect also Fay Wray, the actress, and they should kind of try to exploit him in this Broadway show. He escapes, he gets out, he gets Fay Wray, and he goes to the top of the Empire State Building. He cares for Fay Wray, he protects her, and he only is attacking other people when he's provoked, by gunshots and planes. He would have been perfectly happy on his Pacific Island, which was filmed in San Pedro, actually. So it's the greed of the Hollywood showman that unleashes Kong's rage, right? So let's just take a look at the great scene of him with Fay Wray at the top of the Empire State Building. Pretty powerful, pretty, graphics are pretty great. The emotion is there because the score is there. And if you notice, the score has a lot of, just during, just those few minutes or less, there's a lot of heart in the score. This is an action film, but there's also, like we've seen with other action films, there's the music used is it's not just a war, action-packed machine gun, drums beating, gladiator type score. There's a lot of emotion because the audience is rooting for Kong, even though he's a beast. He's still perhaps the hero in this, and then there's that dilemma because he could crush you, he could kill you, right? So, but if you listen to the score, there's some romantic leitmotifs going on in it. So it's not just a complete, adventurous ruckus thing. I wonder if we can do that. Steiner's doing that where it's an adventure-like sounding explosive score, but also there's a lot of romantic or intimate, touching moments because you do see the love and protection in his eyes. So let's take a look at the scene, sans music. So it's sad because they're firing at him, and he's being he's deflating, and of course he dies, and he falls off the building. And Fay Wray is okay, but she's traumatized, and we're going to have to come up with a scene that is actiony, but it would be nice to have a little bit of emotion in it too. I don't know if that'll be possible, because if you hear Steiner's score, it's emotional, but it's also grand at the same time. It's hard to do this. We're going to have to look for something that's going to fit it's because it's an epic scene, but there's also some heart and emotion in it. So see what you can come up with. I know that this is gonna be really fun to do, because this is such an iconic film. I mean, just they're still remaking these kind of movies in the same way, the same formula. We just have better graphics now. That's really the only difference, and maybe better acting. But for the most part, we're Hollywood's still doing these things. And it's a formula that works, and what works is Max Steiner's score. He went on to do many other films, including Gone with the Wind. He scored Casablanca, Treasure of Sierra Madre. Just a massive talent, amazing film composer. Okay, well, get it to me by tomorrow. We're going to see the results Friday. We're going to make it a great week. We're going to just groove this week and just have a good time learning about new things and sharing. So can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and love you very much, and I will see you tomorrow.